At dinner with her in-laws, the woman only drank a glass of water first. Her husband's father instantly exploded in anger. He accused her of breaking the 321st family rule of the Caddis clan. He shouted that he had not drunk yet, so how dare she drink first. He even ordered her to kneel, pour water for him and admit her mistake. The woman sat coldly in her seat without moving. That night the in-laws stormed into her room with the family rules and a ruler. The father-in-law told her only after memorizing 3,000 rules could she be considered a daughter-in-law of the Caddis family. The mother-in-law even knelt to demonstrate, claiming it was her poor teaching that led to the woman drinking water first. She begged her husband to punish her instead. The ruler struck down heavy, filling the room with cold pressure. The mother-in-law opened the rule book and began reading aloud. Rule 1. As a daughter-in-law you must unconditionally obey the head of the family and your husband. Rule 2. You must not work outside. You must devote yourself fully to caring for the family. You cannot speak to any man other than your husband, not even relatives or your own father. You must bear children for the Caddis family. Wake up at 3 every morning to cook, iron suits by 4, and kneel to wash the family's feet before bed. Hearing this, the woman snapped back. She declared she was a daughter-in-law, not a servant, and would never live without dignity. The father-in-law turned purple with rage. He even pretended to have a heart attack on the spot. Still, he insisted on another rule, demanding she kowtow 800 times to admit her mistake. The woman coldly replied she would only kowtow to the dead. Her words nearly made him faint. The husband hurried to explain that his father had 8 stents in his heart. He begged his wife not to argue with the old man. He even tried to pull her down to kowtow a few times just to smooth things over, but the woman stormed out of the room in anger. The husband thought she was leaving home. He rushed to stop her, but the woman shouted this was her home, and if anyone had to leave it should be them. Hearing this, the father-in-law collapsed again in fury. The husband, worried for his father's health, begged his wife to yield, but the woman valued her dignity above all else. She slapped her husband and turned back to the bedroom. Then the father-in-law suddenly stood up from the floor. The husband was shocked. He realized his father had been faking all along. He furiously demanded to know why his father would push them this way. When he turned to go back to his wife, the mother blocked him with the ruler. The father slapped his son across the face, claiming he was disciplining the daughter-in-law for him. He bragged that with his son's looks and education women could line up around the world for him. The man insisted on going to his wife. The father threw himself on the floor, daring him to cross over his body. The son stepped right over him without hesitation, and coldly told them to go back to their hometown and stop interfering in his marriage. Back in the room, the husband told his wife his parents had been persuaded to leave, and no one would ever force her to recite family rules again. Seeing him firmly by her side, she softened and forgave him. But peace did not last long. That chilling voice returned. The head of the Caddis family had come back. He ordered them to kneel immediately to greet him. This time the in-laws returned with all their luggage. The mother-in-law declared they would never leave again, and would train the woman into the perfect Caddis daughter-in-law. The woman finally lost all patience and told them to get out. The husband blocked her again, begging her to be patient because of his father's 8 stents. Feeling protected, the father grew even more arrogant. He shouted that he was hungry, and demanded to know what lunch was prepared. The son said dumplings were ready. The father sneered, calling dumplings cheap food for commoners. The mother dropped to her knees reciting the so-called rules, saying a Caddis daughter-in-law must prepare 18 dishes, 6 soups and 3 types of staple food every day. She begged the